What is going on, everybody? Welcome back. It is Wednesday, October 28th, 2020. We're going to start off. The World Series just ended. The Dodgers are champs. We'll talk a little about Game 6. It was a crazy one. Some decisions were made that probably shouldn't have been made. We'll talk that. Then we're going to move on to NFL Week 7, kind of see what happened there for you, those that missed it. Talk about, I'll share my opinion on, what I think of some teams. Then we're going to move on to the betting segment, which is, just bets I like for NFL Week 8. That's about it for the episode, and I hope y'all enjoy. Well, LA didn't have to wait long to get another championship as the Dodgers beat the Rays 3-1 in Game 6 of the World Series. It was a wild game. If you didn't get a chance to watch it, Blake Snell pitched the game of his career. He was on fire, and the analytics, aka Kevin Cash, screwed him over. Snell's at 73 pitches and 9 strikeouts through 5 1/3. And he just faced Austin Barnes, a 9-hole hitter for the Dodgers. Faced him a second time. He got a hit up the middle. Mookie Betts was about to come in, and Kevin Cash decides, hey, let's pull Blake Snell and put in a reliever. Now, Cash's decision will be talked about for as long as, Pete Carroll passing the ball on the 1-yard line will be. Except Pete Carroll actually had, some stats to back his up. Cash actually didn't. He said he didn't want to put Snell in to face Mookie Betts for a third time. He's always been consistent with not letting the starter face the lineup 3 times, or 3 times in one game. But looking at the stats, Mookie Betts gets worse. If you look at this season and last season, his third time facing pitchers is actually worse than his first 2 times. And if you look at Snell stats from this year and last year, he's actually better at facing the order the third time, or the lineup the third time in the game. So Cash's decision, we know he's analytical, but it didn't have anything to back it up. You can't make an argument for it. And, obviously, when Snell got pulled, he was frustrated. So was, a lot of the Rays team was just frustrated. And you could see, as soon as he got pulled, the Dodgers dugout was going nuts. The whole energy for LA changed. But after the game, Snell said, he thought it was his game, or he knew it was his game, and he understands why Kevin Cash made the decision. He also said that he's usually, most of the time, Kevin Cash is right whenever he makes those decisions. So Snell, in a way, kind of backed his manager, but at the same time, if you're Snell, especially losing that game because of that, you got to be mad. And then the choice to even put in Nick Anderson as the reliever, Nick Anderson's allowed a run in his past, 7 games in the playoffs, and he's allowed, or maybe past 6 games, and then past 7 games in the playoffs, and then in 9 appearances this year, he's in the playoffs, he's allowed a run. It's ridiculous. They just put in the wrong reliever. If you're gonna do it, don't put in that reliever. And Kevin Cash said he regrets his decision because it didn't work. But if you're looking at it just from a baseball standpoint, obviously you regret it because it didn't work. But even if it did work, you still got to look like, why did I pull Snell? So I don't know. You pull Snell, you put in Nick Anderson. Nick Anderson immediately gives up a double to Mookie Betts down left field line, which puts a guy in second and third with 1 out. Then he throws a wild pitch. The guy on third scores. Mookie goes to third. Now game's tied 1-1. Next batter hits a grounder to G-Man Choi at first. They throw it home trying to get Mookie Betts out. Mookie Betts is so fast, he beats it there. Now they're up 2-1, 1 out, guy on first. In the 6th inning, it's just it all went downhill. And then to even add it off, in the 8th inning, Mookie Betts hits a home run. The fact that he pulled Snell basically lost in the game. Now, they could have lost anyways. It was also only Game 6. They could have lost, tonight on Wednesday, in Game 7. But you at least want to get to Game 7, right? So the World Series is a wild one. LA, they already won NBA championship. They just won the MLB World Series. They really don't have a chance to win the NFL, and they didn't win hockey. But it is the first time. I don't know if it's first time ever or in a while that a team has won the World Series and NBA, or a city has won the World Series and an NBA championship in the same year. So, I mean, I guess we'll look forward to next year. Hopefully we get back to a 162 game season. They should start on time, unlike, NHL starting a little bit later, NBA starting a little bit later. MLB should start on time. We got another few months before they kickstart that up, but I think this shouldn't go down with an asterisk, because from what I've heard, this year was harder than just a regular 162 game season. So props to LA. They were by far the best team. They had depth, they had pitching, they had hitting. They could do everything. Now, I mean, they also had more money, but they deserve the championship. They are one of the best teams in recent memory, and props to them. Let's move on to football now. All right, it is time to talk football. World Series is a wild one, but let's move on. Washington destroyed Dallas. We all know Washington's a bad team, but I think this just confirms how truly bad Dallas is. I mean, without Dak, obviously. And then even Andy Dalton went down and he got hurt. I can't even think of the backup name that came in. I believe it's a rookie out of James Madison. I don't know. He didn't play great. I didn't really watch that game. I mean, who did? Even if you're a Dallas fan, you had to turn it off. But yeah, Washington destroyed them. I think it was 25-3. Not even close. And then in today's news, Dallas went ahead and traded Everson and Griffin to the Lions, I believe for his 6th-round pick. I mean, not much. He hasn't done much this season. He's had a great career. Hopefully, he'll help boost the Lions, give him some leadership. He's going back into the NFC North. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, Dallas is bad. It's been confirmed. Jerry Jones said he's not worried about Mike McCarthy, but that's got to be a lie, especially after dealing with Jason Garrett. But yeah, we don't like Dallas anyways. Packers bounce back. Easy win over Houston. Confirming Houston's a terrible team. They have Deshaun Watson. We've talked about before, they don't have much talent. They have him. They have J.J. Watt, who, could even get traded. They got to start looking for the future. I mean, they're not a good team. They're not well coached. Management has problems. They're behind, and they shouldn't be behind. And that's all thanks to management and Bill O'Brien. But yeah, Packers bounced back, played a great game. I think it was 35-20. They did hit my bet from last week saying they'd win by 15. But yeah, they're back on track. They had a bad game against Tampa Bay. It's going to happen. It's so hard to go undefeated in the regular season. I think it's only happened twice. I mean, the Panthers almost made it 3 times in 2015, maybe 2016. I don't know, but yeah, it's hard to do. Don't expect them to lose many more, especially that bad how they did to Tampa Bay. But yeah, bad week. Came back with an easy win over Houston. They're moving on. They're going up. They're doing great things over there in the NFC. We have to talk about it. Falcons lost again. It was a wild game against the Lions. Todd, if you didn't get to watch it, there was, I want to say, about a minute left in the game. Falcons had the ball. They're up by 2. They were going to win, right? They're just trying to run the clock out. They run the ball. Gurley breaks through, and he tries to stop, but he kind of gets pushed into the end zone and kind of trips into the end zone and scores a touchdown. And he didn't want to do that. Everyone watching the game basically knew that they weren't trying to score. They were just trying to get a first down, run the clock out. Matt Ryan came out and said they talked about it in the huddle, like, hey, don't score here, just run the clock out. Gurley knew it. He couldn't. It just happened, right? He just went into the end zone, scored a touchdown. And you're like, okay, they scored, but are the Lions really going to come back? And you're like, well, it is against the Falcons. So then Matt Stafford and them get the ball. They're driving downfield. And I believe the first play, the Falcons played so far off coverage, they got an easy 20-yard reception to Kenny Golladay, who stepped out of bounds with time left. And you got Matt Prater, who's got, a cannon for a leg. He can kick however far he wants. They end up kicking the game-winning field goal. Arthur Blank is on the sideline. He doesn't know what to think. I don't think anyone on the Falcons knows what to think. Lions are, I don't think they know what to think. They're just happy they got a win. It was a crazy game, but who's really surprised? The Falcons, blew another one. This time they didn't have a great lead, but the fact that they lost when they should have won, it can go in circles, and it'll probably happen once or twice again this season. Steelers and Titans. Steelers remain undefeated. They're the real deal. They're good. Possibly the best team in the AFC. I'd probably take the Chiefs, but the Steelers' defense is crazy good. And if they can figure out, if Big Ben can figure out that offense again and get them rolling, not that they're bad, they're just not, top-notch great. But if he can get them going on fire with that defense, their best team, they're Super Bowl bound, and Kansas City's got to catch up to them. I believe they are ranked number 1 in the power rankings this week. I mean, rightfully so. They're undefeated. I mean, if you're going to play anyone, it's not them. You don't want to play them right now. They do have a tough game this week in Baltimore. I don't really think it's going to be that close. I think Baltimore is good, but I don't think they'll be able. I think they'll get stopped on offense, and I don't think they'll really be able to stop Pittsburgh on defense. We'll see how it turns out, but I expect kind of like a Chiefs-Ravens game, but lower scoring. Buccaneers rout the Raiders. I guess this kind of exposes the Raiders. They had upsets. They beat the Saints on that Monday night in like week 2. They've lost some games as well, but you're looking at their season and how it's gone. You kind of think, okay, they have ups and downs. They're a good team. I really don't think they are. I mean, Buccaneers destroyed them, and the Buccaneers are good, but I mean, I don't know. Raiders are probably still going to win some small games. They might make the playoffs because it's expanded. Don't expect them to do much, though. Yeah, good job for Bucs, but yeah, Raiders, they're not the real deal. 49ers destroyed the Patriots. Now, I knew they were going to win. I called it out last week, but the score, I mean, I think the Patriots got 3 points. I don't remember the exact score, but it was not close at all. I mean, the game, even watching the game, wasn't close. Cam Newton is, not playing how he did at the beginning of the season. The Patriots are not playing. They don't know what they're playing like. They've never done this in the Belichick era. It's all crazy to everyone. They've lost 2 games at home in a row. I don't know when the last time that's happened was, but it couldn't have been any time recent. They move on. They're playing the Bills next week. Do I have hope for them? Yes, only because it's a division game. And as we know, anything can happen in division games. So, I mean, I think the Bills will win like everyone else, but just it could be a close one. Could go down to the wire. We don't know. Cardinals beat Seattle on Sunday night. I mean, this was a game. Both just watching it. I've watched it and then I rewatched it with NFL Game Pass. If you can go back and rewatch it, I recommend you do so. You'll see so many things you don't really get to see during the game. I mean, both teams played good. Both teams made mistakes. All around. It was an amazing game. Not as good as the Monday night game between the Chiefs and the Rams a few years ago, but it gave me similar feelings. These are 2 teams that, we could see in the playoffs again. Hopefully the Cardinals, finally hit their stride. We know who Seattle is, but overall, good game. It was a wild finish. They go into overtime. Zane Gonzalez misses the game-winning field goal. Seattle gets the ball, go down. They throw a weird interception to Isaiah Simmons. I don't know if it was – I think the route was ran wrong. But, I mean, it could have been Russell Wilson's fault. It was a weird thing. Isaiah Simmons is so fast, was in the right spot. They get an interception. They drive down. I think on first down or second down or something. Or first down, they run the ball. And then on second down, they opt to kick the field goal. Even though they had time left, they could have got a little closer. He hit that one. Cardinals won the game. I think it was in Arizona. I mean, good for them. Like I said, hopefully they found their stride. They know who they are. They can win games and continue to play at this high level. Monday night, LA Rams beat the Bears. Neither team played good. Neither team impressed me. We all know how I feel about Jared Goff. I mean, the Bears didn't do good. I guess you could say the LA's defense did good, but that was about it. It was a boring game to watch. I watched it anyways, just for you guys. But it just, again, shows us that the Bears are pretenders. just like the Raiders. I think they're at 5-2 now. I mean, they could get in the playoffs still if they're. I don't know what their upcoming schedule looks like, but if it's weak, if maybe they start playing some good games, they are well coached. It's just they're missing, they're missing a quarterback. Also, some pieces on offense. Their defense is still good, but yeah, Allen Robinson left the game with a concussion. I don't know if he'll be back this next week, but uh, don't like we've said it before. Don't expect much from the Bears, but at the same time, after we say that, they go and they win some more games. So it is what it is. On the Rams side of the ball, they didn't play great either. I'm not impressed. Their 5 wins are against 4 of them are against the NFC East. They beat the Redskins, the Eagles, the Giants, and the Cowboys. Doesn't impress anyone. And now they beat the Bears. So they're at 5-2 as well, I believe. Their 5 wins are against 5 terrible teams, or 5 not good teams. I guess you say the Bears aren't terrible at 5-2 either, but I wasn't impressed by either team. I don't expect much from either team. Maybe a few upsets, but most likely they lose a lot more from here on out. Let's talk Thursday Night Football. Before we get into the betting segment, we got the Falcons at the Panthers. Falcons are 2.5-point favorite. Panthers are 2.5-point favorites. Over under is 51.5. Let's say this. I'm picking the Panthers. It is a division game. I do expect it to kind of be close. I mean, we know what the Falcons offense can do. And if they have Julio and Calvin Ridley, we especially know what they can do. Panthers, they're kind of rebuilding, I guess you could say. Not really. They're playing good. I'll say that. They've lost some games that they probably should have lost. They've won some games they probably should have won. They're playing good. It's another game that, they're playing the Falcons. They should win. They probably will win. I'm taking the Panthers, and I'm taking the Panthers with the points, and I'll go ahead and take the under as well. These aren't any bets I really like, but I try to give y'all some bets for Thursday night just to make y'all watch it and do something interesting, or keep the game interesting. But yeah, Panthers should win. Christian McCaffrey might come back. If it was a Sunday game, he would, but it being a Thursday game, they don't really know. If he does, don't expect a ton from him. Mike Davis should still be, the lead back this game, but if it ends up being a little closer, McCaffrey might start getting more snaps depending on how he's feeling. Who knows? He should be back next week, but you look out for him. If it's fantasy aspects, keep an eye on him, but don't expect much. Probably not playing him. If you do, don't play him in the flex so you can reserve that spot for someone else. But yeah, it should be a fun one. Should be close. It'll definitely be better than some of the past primetime games we had on either Monday or Thursday. Keep an eye on that one. Let's move on to betting. All right, welcome back to the betting segment. I think I like this. I think I'm going to keep doing it. Unless I start doing really bad. All right, so last week I gave y'all 6 bets. I was 3-3. What I didn't point out was how confident I was in those bets. You might not believe me, but actually the 3 that I hit were the ones I was more confident in, and I lost 3 that I was, kind of against the odds, hoping to gain some cash on them. This week I did separate. I have 8 picks for y'all. I'm not including the Thursday night games. I have 8 picks for y'all. 2 of them I really like. The other 6 I kind of like. I'm just not as confident in them. Let's start with the 2 I really like. I love Green Bay taking the points on this one at -6.5. They're playing at home versus Minnesota. Just blew out the Texans. It's a division game, so I guess we've said before, anything can happen. But I do like them winning by, at least a touchdown. I'm really confident on that game. And then another game, some of y'all might be surprised, but I'm confident. I think Pittsburgh's going to beat Baltimore. I have Pittsburgh. I took Pittsburgh at +175. I am really confident in that. I'd put a good amount of money on that one because that +175 is going to get you almost double your money when they win. So definitely take those two picks again. Green Bay -6.5 and Pittsburgh +175 money line. Take those. Put the majority of your bets on those. Moving on to the weaker picks that I still like, just not as much. I have Tennessee beating Cincinnati by they're 5.5-point favorites. I like them winning by at least 6, I think they'll win by more. It's in Cincy. I don't really think it matters, especially Tennessee just coming off a loss. Maybe they're kind of firing things up again. Um, I like that pick. Then we got Las Vegas at Cleveland. Las Vegas is plus 128. I it's the Browns. I don't want to put faith in them, but it's also the Raiders. This is a game that it's kind of like I'm only taking Las Vegas because they aren't favored, hoping to kind of gain a lot more money. Maybe if they were favored, I'd take Cleveland. I think this game could go either way, but I think it's worth it to put a few bucks on Vegas here. Same with the game, Miami and the Rams. They're playing in Miami. LA's got to travel from the West Coast to the East Coast. Miami's not a bad team. It will be weird because they are starting Tua, but that could also be another reason that, they're not favored by the Rams are favored by a lot more than what they probably should be. Like I said, I don't think the Rams are that great. Miami's not either, but I think both are good teams. LA's moving ahead 3 hours with the time change. I like Miami in this one, and I'm going to take them at plus 160. New England and Buffalo, this game is similar to the Las Vegas game. I think Buffalo will win, but New England just back-to-back home losses. I mean, is Belichick really going to lose 3 games in a row? Probably not. They play Buffalo twice a year. They know this Buffalo team. Buffalo doesn't know this Patriots team. Cam Newton is clearly different than Tom Brady. New England's plus 170. I'm taking that, hoping they win. That's almost double my money, get some extra cash out of that, even though I do think Buffalo might end up with a win. Another game, I'm taking New Orleans to beat the Bears by more than 4. I think New Orleans is going to win anyways. They are favored, but their favored is a lot more than minus 120, which is if you take the points. So I'll take them minus 4 in Chicago. Monday night game, it's the Giants and the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers are 10.5 point favorites. I don't think they'll win by that much. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Giants plus 10.5 at minus 110. We know Brady's history against the Giants. Obviously, it's another year, but it's a primetime game. I don't think the Giants lose by 11. I think they can keep it within 10. They're at home. That could help a little bit. I know obviously there's no fans, but yeah, I like the Giants in this one. I'm going to go ahead and say, or not winning, but at least like them losing by 10 or less. So I'm going with Giants plus 10.5. Like I said, I'm not putting a ton of money on these last 6 games I said, but I do like, some chances of making a little extra cash with them. That's today's episode. Maybe next week we get a guest on. I don't know. I have no clue. I'm just trying to get them out every Wednesday night so y'all can listen to them Thursday morning before the Thursday night game. From here on out, it'll be football for a while. Obviously, baseball's over. NBA and hockey aren't starting up for a little bit. Most of y'all want to hear about football anyways. So yeah, we'll keep the football. I'll keep with the same segments. If y'all like something, if y'all don't like something, let me know in the comments. Text me, hit me up, at me on Twitter. Whatever you gotta do, let me know what y'all like. Y'all have an amazing Thursday. Y'all go put some money on these bets. Y'all go make some money, and then y'all come back to me next week for next week's picks, and I'm gonna make y'all even more money. All right, y'all have a good one.